everyone, I'm Keisha Charmaine and I'm back with another video, and in this video I'll be going over lock curls, my best tips on how to achieve them, but more importantly, well maybe not more important, but just as important, how to maintain them. And with this recent curl set, which I achieved through perm rods, I used 2 locks per perm rod roller, and I will be documenting, or I have been documenting, and I will continue to be documenting how they drop in the process. I made a poll on my Instagram asking you guys how long do you think the curls will last. The majority of people said 2 weeks, so I'm gonna try to make it for 3 weeks. I typically will only let my curls last for 2 weeks because I prefer to wash my hair every 2 weeks. However, I just want to prove that I can maintain my curls. However, I do have an issue because I am going to see Cowboy Carter at MetLife Stadium. MetLife has no dome or anything, and it's supposed to be a rainy weekend. Why is it always rainy on Memorial Weekend? I don't know how it is all over the place, but in New York, it is always raining on Memorial Weekend. Anyway, so I may end up having to bring a shower cap to the concert. I don't have shame. I'm gonna let it be known. So I'm going to protect my curls no matter what. I'm gonna make sure that these curls last 3 weeks. So definitely follow me on Instagram if you want to see those chronicles. I'll probably post them here on YouTube as well. But yeah, I will have a shower cap on deck in case it rains, because it's definitely supposed to rain in that morning, but it may not rain in the evening. So I'm gonna, you know, keep my fingers crossed about that. But yes, curls, perm rod curls, you guys know these are my favorite. So as for my tips for achieving these curls, my #1 tip is to do it on freshly washed hair. I know a lot of people are tempted to mist their hair or wet their hair before applying the rollers, but I recommend doing it on freshly washed hair for 2 reasons. One, your hair is thoroughly saturated to the core. When you are misting it or just dampening it, you're very likely only wetting it on the surface. Our locks are like sponges. You want to make sure that the water gets in there completely, right? And then squeeze it out so it's not dripping wet and you're able to dry thoroughly, right? But you want to make sure your hair is fully saturated. So that's why I always say do it on freshly washed hair. Also, freshly washed hair is clean hair. The buildup that could be present in your hair could be preventing your lock curl from lasting, because buildup in our hair makes our hair heavy. The heavier the hair, the faster the curl will drop. So keep that in mind. Which reminds me, another thing, if you are having struggles with curling your locks and your locks are really long, it's very likely because of that weight factor. So longer locks tend to be heavier, obviously, and the weight of your hair is going to pull on that curl and make your curl drop faster. So keep that in mind. Which makes it even more impressive that I'm going to make my hair last for 3 weeks. I'm going to let the curls last for 3 weeks because my hair is pretty long, and that means it has a little bit of weight too. Another tip, make sure you dry your hair completely before taking out your rollers or your rods or whatever you're using for your curls. Dry your hair completely, because if your hair is not completely dried, when you take out your curl or when you take out your roller or rod, you may notice a damp spot. It's going to cause your hair to drop faster. While it may be nice and pretty right now, your hair is going to drop really quickly when your hair does not dry completely. So I personally like to keep my hair in rollers for 2 days. If I don't have 2 days, then I'm going to sit with my hair in a hood attachment for a blow dryer, and I'm going to sit in that for an extended amount of time. And I'm not going to just do it for like an hour block. I'm going to do it for different blocks throughout the day. So I'm going to do it a little bit in the morning. I'm going to do it a little bit in the afternoon. I'm going to do it a little bit in the evening. I'm going to make sure that throughout the day I'm drying my hair if I only have that one day. If I'm using 2 days, which is usually the case for me, I'll just put my hair in the hood for a couple of times each day. And I will just let it air dry, walk around in the sun if I have access to the sun out and let the sun do its thing as well. So however you do it, whether you're sitting under a dryer, whether you have a blow dryer and you use a hood attachment, or if you are letting it air dry, which I don't necessarily recommend, don't let it air dry completely. Like, still use some artificial heat. Don't just rely on air drying unless your hair is very short. If your locks are short, you can get away with simply air drying your lock curls. But if your locks are long, I don't recommend you trying to air dry your locks completely for it to curl, because one is likely not going to dry completely all the way to the core. Probably not, okay? And when your hair is not drying all the way completely to the core, your curls will not last. I can't emphasize that enough. If you want your curls to last, you need to allow them to completely dry. So before I get into the ways to maintain your curls, I do want to get into a couple quick styles with the long lux head wrap versus the infinity head wrap. So I have had some customers who were confused about the difference between the infinity head wrap and the long lux red hat and the long lux head wraps. So I do want to quickly do a demonstration and show you guys the side by side. So here is an infinity head wrap. And what makes it infinity is the fact that it's all connected. It's seamless, right? There's no seam. So these head wraps are really convenient for those of you who don't know how to wrap it and do all those fun styles with it. You can simply put your hair through it like a sock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly put my hair up in a messy bun. I'm not even going to use a hair tie. It's just, I just literally just plop my hair on top of my head. So I'm going to put the infinity head wrap on. Like so. This is one way to wear it. You can wear it so that the curls are exposed a bit, which is, you know, my go-to, my favorite way to wear head wraps in general. Okay, so you see how simple that was? I literally just slid my hair into it. And now I'm going to show you the same exact way, but with the long lux head wrap. So this is the infinity head wrap in the color red, and they are restocked. I have a bunch of new head wraps in stock, new infinity head wraps in stock, and I've restocked some of the existing ones. So definitely go check out KeishaCharmaine.com to see. So now I'm going to do the same exact style, but with the long lux head wrap. So this is a little bit more complex. So while this way may be a bit harder to achieve, it is worth it because I do believe that it gives a level of character that the infinity head wraps just don't. The infinity head wraps are more beginner friendly. They're more user friendly. They're just easier. You know, anybody can wear an infinity head wrap simply. So that's a pro for the infinity head wrap. But a pro for the long lux head wrap is that the way that you can style it brings more character to your style, more dimension to your style. It brings more of an element of elegance and regality with seeing the layers of the wrapping, right? Here is my version of the previous style with the long lux head wrap. Let me know what you think. And this long lux head wrap is in the color Candy Apple Red. So we have the Candy Apple Red long lux head wrap, and then we have the red infinity head wrap. So I hope that this demo really showed you guys the difference. So now as for tips for maintaining the curls, I highly recommend using bonnets, especially when you are chilling, lollygagging, you know, during your leisure time when you're in a house or whatever. Put your hair in a bonnet. Don't just let it out. So basically you want to make sure that your curls are contained while you can. This is the bonnet that I'm wearing 90% of the time while my hair is in curls. This is a custom bonnet by Lock Crush. Shout outs to Lock Crush on Instagram. She makes custom bonnets, which is ideal for those of us who have really long locks. If your locks aren't super long, then you can find a bonnet in the 99-cent store or whatever, right? Or you can still support a black business and get you a custom one as well. Yes, wearing a bonnet, a satin bonnet, is really ideal because it's going to keep your hair contained. Basically, it's going to help to keep the curls in place versus wearing them out and down. Gravity is more likely going to come into play and pull on the curls. Another tip for maintaining the curls, I will get in the shower with the bonnet and a shower cap on top. So I do have extra large shower caps that I will wear. Typically, I don't wear shower caps. Like, I don't wear shower caps on a regular basis unless I have a fresh retwist or curls. Any other time, I don't wear shower caps. I may wear a scarf around my hairline to keep that, you know, together and smooth, but I like to get the steam in my hair, so I don't normally wear shower caps. But shower caps are absolutely necessary if you want to keep your locks lasting, if you want to keep your curls lasting. And as far as sleep goes, bonnet it up as well. Of course, if you have a satin pillowcase, that's great, but you still want to use a bonnet for your curls to keep them in place. And I know it's really controversial whether you guys wear bonnets out in public or not. I'm somebody who will wear a bonnet outside if I feel like it. I usually don't feel like it, but I will feel like it sometimes. Yesterday I did wear a bonnet to the post office, dropping off my orders. To each their own. I'm not telling you that you have to run your errands in your bonnet to maintain your curls. I'm not telling you you have to do that. No. That's up to you. Okay? Some people will say that's just, you know, no home training. And that might be the case for some people, but I very well know that I do have home training. However, I feel confident enough that I can step into the world not looking 100%. That's really the size of it. I feel comfortable enough as is. The Lord says, come as you are. And sometimes how I are looks homely. And that's okay with me. That's all I had to give. Yesterday was rough, okay? But I had packages I had to put out, okay? Anyway, so I hope those tips helped.